Hey Parker, this is Coach Chad. Let me turn this down a second. This is a video clip your mom took of your 50-meter backstroke or 50-yard backstroke at DSA Champs earlier this month, or at the end of July. One of the things I'm going to be doing moving forward is next month I've got most of the site set up. I'm probably going to have it launched next month sometime. Doing a website where I'm going to be doing like video critiques of races and strokes, techniques, and practice mechanics. So I wanted to give you guys kind of a trial of what I'll be doing out here and see what your opinion is on how I've got this put together. Basically, it's just a voiceover of me pointing out a lot of different things technically that could be wrong or could be improved upon in one's race. So we're going to look at this backstroke real quick. The way I usually set this up is kind of like in practice. I'm going to look through the whole thing and talk through it. Then I'm going to pause it at different points to try to further exemplify what I'm talking about that could be corrected. And then I'm going to go revert to a video or two that kind of shows you what I'm hoping to share with you that you can work on in practice. All right, so let's see if I got the volume down here. Yeah, okay. So the one thing I see here is you look like you're a little nervous, but still getting ready to go. When they say take your mark, though, you kind of bring your head way down to the block and then go. And that's good. Your hips could probably come up over the water a little more. You're up swimming right away, which means you're not getting enough out of your dolphins. Your right hand in particular is chopping the water way out to the side. And even though you're driving the stroke, you're swimming kind of flat. And then you kind of misjudged your turn just a little bit there. You nailed it okay, but again, you only took about 2 or 3 dolphin kicks before you came up and started swimming again. And as you can see, you've got a lot of chop around your body. There's a lot of waves. It's not as smooth as it could be, and your head's kind of bobbing up and down in the water. Okay, good finish. You know, driving the head back and sticking the finish. If I'm correct, I think you had either at or close to a best time at that meet, including with the training you had over the summer. But let me go back to this again and try to break this down a little bit more. Here at the start, now first of all, if I see it, okay, you're looking to the left. I guess you're looking for the official. You want to do a couple like practice starts in your mind a couple heats before your race when you move forward on these races. So when you're back here behind the blocks and you're listening to the starter, you don't really want to change your focus for a second by looking to the left or to the right to see where your competition's doing or to listen to what the starter is saying. Okay, when you're back here behind the blocks about 2 to 3 heats before your race, I want you to start being in tune with the starter. Listen to them. Listen to how they say step up, take your mark, go. Listen to if they have a quick pause or a slow pause, so you can kind of get that into your mental and muscle memory. So when you jump into the water, you're ready to go, you're fully looking forward, and then ready to get off the blocks. Okay? Now let's go to the start. Now you come up here and you bring your head all the way up to the blocks. That is okay, maybe if you're getting enough out of your hips, but what you're doing in this respect here is you're loosening your lower lumbar a little too much. We normally say let's do that, but in this case, you're going to get off the block, but you're still going to not get your hips up and over the water as much as you want. The best backstrokers out there, once they get a little more in tune with what they're doing, when they say take your mark, go, they're able to literally have their whole body come up and out of the water like a big U, kind of like boom, and they're like, their body entry would be like here. I think yours is like a little more up here when you come off. So next time, try to hug the block a little bit more, not by putting your head down into it, but just kind of like squeezing your forearms a little closer to it with your head a little more straight up towards the ceiling versus pointing back towards the block. That will help you get a little bit more leverage on your legs and your quad muscles so you can push up and over and come off the block. Okay, and just watch what I'm talking about here. You say take your mark, and then, I need to get my slow-mo feature going on these. Let's see, can I slow? No. Okay, but let me see if I can pause this, do a frame-by-frame thing. Okay, now see, your head's coming back, but look, your hips are still on the wall. I don't think they ever really get off the wall on this start. They need to kind of come up and over so you can get more powerful streamline. And yeah, you just hit the water, and the hips were in the water the whole time, and they never even came out, which meant you started your race flat on a very flat plane instead of an arc down, and where you kind of you kind of went up and like that, and like straight versus up, down, and then kind of curving your way back up to the surface like that. All right, so let's get into the breakout here. You look like you're taking about maybe 2 or 3 kicks, and then you come up and pop up swimming, and then look, I think that's your head. I could be wrong. Let me see that again. Yeah, that's your head. Your head's almost a full foot out of the water, which means your hips are sinking way too low. It's not a good position for backstroke, especially on backstroke sprinting. What you want to start doing is literally having your head look up towards the ceiling. Just like in freestyle, you want that water to break the surface of the crown of your head. Right now it's breaking at your shoulders, which means you're swimming backstroke, but it's like you're sitting in a chair in the process versus swimming on a flat level plane. Okay, so you need to work on that a little more. And I think part of that is what's causing your stroke to become flat, and then is also throwing your entry off. You're chopping into the water the way you should, obviously, because you created this huge splash, right? But see how this splash goes up and over almost into the next lane versus going back and behind you, and see all this big, huge wave you're creating for yourself to swim through? It's not as efficient because you're creating this wave that your body has to swim through when it doesn't need to be there to begin with, and it's creating more drag. Okay, and then here your wrist. Look at your hand here. Your head's right here, and your fingertips are right here, way past your head. Remember, we want to exit the water and enter the water pinky first, with our arms driving past our ears, and we want to rotate our hips and our shoulders together. You want to imagine there's a bar from your head down through the middle of your body, and if I were to spin you around that bar, your body would spin equilaterally around it, and that's how you should rotate in backstroke. Okay? Again, major bend in the elbows here, way past the head, when the arm should be straight and having a pinky first entry. Okay? And what happens here is, again, here's this big splash. You're literally splashing over into this next lane. You still got this big wave in front of you, and you carry that through the whole race. And I'm telling you, buddy, it's slowed you down quite a bit in terms of drag factors when you don't need it to be there. Now, you just keep it going, and you have a good kick, obviously, because your tempo's good. But we just got to get you to swim a little bit more with rotation, pinky first entry, head back, and then a powerful kick. Okay, and if I look at your kick real quick there, I can see you kicking, but I don't see your feet breaking the surface of the water too much. You should be having white caps from your knees down, but not from your hips up. You've got white caps here, here, and here, but it's nothing back down. You see, you got this little white cap here with your feet. All of this should be back here, all right, showing that you're driving forward. And then, again, you pick the head up. Look how high that head's sitting in the water, right? You misjudge the turn a little bit, and then as you go for the wall, look, you're looking this direction instead of keeping your eyes down here the way they should be. Watch your neck position here. Top of your head's here. You got a huge curve in your neck, and that puts a huge curve in your lower back here, and I bet you your hips sink a bit. Okay, as the head, see, you're looking for the wall. You need to trust your stroke count enough to the point that this is where the water should be breaking right here. Not at your forehead, but here at the crown of your head. Okay? And I know you were trying not to kick because if you kick without taking a stroke, that can get you disqualified. So you played that safe. But then look how you had to throw your head down and your body is still way too far away from that wall. Okay? It looks like you had a really open turn. Watch. Okay, your knees are coming up over, and look, your feet are about ready to hit, and they're about ready to hit here when the wall is still another foot away. All right, so we need to work on that a little bit more with kicking speed into the wall, and then your feet hit, but you're hitting like with your ankles bent and your knees not really bent all that much. Remember, when you come off of a wall, you want to do like a squat thrust off of that wall into your backstroke streamline. Okay? Now you come quick off the wall, which is good. Your first couple dolphins look okay because your head's in the right position, but then you lift your head up again. See? And then here, look at this right here, this whole curve. You've got like maybe a 30-degree or just slightly less arc from your shoulder to your elbow to your wrist to your fingers. All of this needs to be entering the water about here. But you're entering right here, and it's causing your hips to sway. Watch. So you put that here, but the head isn't back far enough to drive it back forward, and it's creating, you look like you're sitting in a chair again because your hips are sinking. All right? And then you're kind of shortchanging your stroke on your right-hand side because your left-hand side is pulling way out here, and then your right-hand side is just kind of chopping and scooting, while this one's like, and this one's like, You know, you want even balance of that stroke moving forward. Now again, let's look at that kick coming off the wall. You look like you had it right for a second there. Let's see if you had the white caps I'm looking for. Okay, see this white cap right here? That is good on that first part of the stroke because at that one point in time you were kind of in proper position. But then as your stroke started going side to side, your feet started compensating for it again in the wrong way. This white cap here is what you should have the whole race from start to finish, while all of this up here splash should not exist at all. Okay? And then, of course, the kick kind of subsides. You got a little bit of splash here and there. And just watch. Watch how when you're swimming back, you're bouncing in the water. Your head's going up and down and up and down. You look like a cork. I mean, look at this. You see it. You got up and down motion versus motion that should just be nothing but forward. Okay? And that's creating a lot of instability in the stroke. And, of course, it's making you work a lot harder than is necessary. Now, that's a good finish. But all of that bouncing, Parker, can make you so tired so quickly, and it's unnecessary. So when we clean up the technique, you'll realize that you'll swim a lot faster, and when you hit the wall, you'll probably hit a best time, and you'll probably be like, wow, Coach Chad, that felt awesome, but it felt so smooth that I think I could have gone even faster. I promise you, when you clean this up and you race next time and you're in shape, that's what it's going to feel like. So let me show you a quick example here of the men's 100-meter backstroke from the Beijing 2008 Olympics. Aaron Pearsall, one of my most favorite backstrokers in history. And let me show you what he does here. Hold on. He comes off that wall, and he's not leading into that first 50 meters, but he still does finish very strong. And we're going to go over this a little bit. Okay, let me see if I can catch that real quick. I'm going to turn the volume down. I can get right back to that part here. Oh, 1 second. Got a little lag. Hold on. Sorry about this. My mouse is being fickle. Alrighty. Now, again, see, arms are straight. They're locked here, but watch their head position when they come up into the start. See, look, his head's up. His head's up. And his head's a little forward, but it's not totally down here by his elbows. That means because they're using all of their forearm strength to lift their bodies up. But look, see this like bend in their legs? They're using that so they can thrust off that wall with the squat thrust. Now see again, his head and his nose is not down here at the bar. It's right there, with his muscles fully engaged, stabilizing his upper body so he can push with his legs. Watch what happens with his legs when he comes off this block. Now, boom. He throws the head immediately back. The arms come up and over, but look at these quad muscles and how engaged they are, pushing his body off the wall. His legs are doing the work. Now watch. His feet are going to come up and over, and his body's going to enter into one hole. Watch. See how deep this angle is? See how they already into that deep streamline? But look, feet are up out over the water, hips up over the water, hips up over the water. Arms locked out behind, head looking back and up, right? Now, these guys are going to go down for a second, but then they're going to angle back up, but they use all of their core muscles here and their leg muscles to power these dolphins to the surface. And look, these guys are probably taking 7 or 8 or 9 kicks even before they get going. Now, here, look, this hip is rotating in sync with this shoulder. This shoulder's up, this hip's up. This shoulder's down, this hip's down. Okay? Toes pointed, head back. Okay? Now this guy's a little high in the water at first, but here's Pearsall right here. And just look. Straight arm recovery. Little chop in the front, but see this kind of bow between here, the water troughs down a bit, and then you start seeing this kick. Now watch the kick once they get going. Look, all of this water is splashing and it's pushing this way, back towards the block so it can push them forward. And look, clean water, clean water. This guy's kind of choppy. He's not swimming totally correct as he should, but the water's clean. There's no drag, and everything's pushing the body forward in this direction, and it's pushing the waves back behind them. All right? All right, now you saw that arm catch. Just let you watch a few strokes here. See here how everything is smooth, the arms are not bent. Pinky first out of the water, pinky first into the water, and it's a straight recovery. See? Back behind him, the arm drives down, head is back, very little to no splash, and all the splash is back here behind them. Let's watch this race play out a little bit. Okay? And again, backstroke, especially in the sprints, is kick driven. These guys are mostly using their feet to drive their arms from the feet up, not the arms down. Okay? And then as you can see, boom, see how quick that wall was? He had his stroke count down. Let's look at Pearsall coming in off that again. Turns, and look, his head is not really looking here too much. His eyes are like down at an angle this way, but his eyes aren't completely straight forward. Okay? And then once he gets closer, boom, everything comes over. Head drops. So he's already has his hands back here in streamline, ready to go. And the minute his feet hit, he's off the wall. And he's tight. Look how tight that streamline is. Right behind his back. And he's flicking the ankles and everything from here down, right? And he's powering about another 7 or 8 dolphin kicks. And then they get the feet kicking, and then they start going. Did you see that real quick? Feet start kicking before the arms break the surface of the water, not the way around. See? They start kicking, and then they stroke. And then watch. Pearsall just turns his feet on. Arm, 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 arm. And he just drives and drives. The head is back. He's driving the stroke back, and behind him, the waves are right here, pushing him forward. And he just keeps going and going and going and going, and then he finally sticks that finish. Probably took an extra stroke there from what I saw. Could have been a little faster, but he still sets a world record. He's like, oh my God, I'm the old guy here. I'm 27 years old, and here I go setting a world record. But see, that's kind of how we get it done, Parker, in terms of making sure that we get things done efficiently, smoothly, and correctly moving forward. So I hope this video helps. If you have any questions, talk to me on Facebook, shoot me an email, or just catch me sometime at the Y, or ask me when we see you guys at the orientation meeting. All right. Take care. We'll talk with you soon.